Good evening, Joyce.
Good evening, Richard.
Oh, look, thank you for your time. This is part of a series of what I hope will grow with people who have been to Korea, and you happen to be the first, so that's great. And I have some questions here. My first question is, what expectations did you have before you went to Korea? Did you have any expectations of the
Uh,
country and the people before
Great
you went?
question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I did. I mean,
Hmm.
I'm not a big history fan, so I didn't actually do much research, but I grew up watching Korean drama.
Uh-huh.
Um, so drama like Full House, Secret Garden that you probably never heard of. The most recent one, because it just became quite trendy on Netflix, and the most recent one like Crash Landing
Oh,
on
yes.
You.
Hmm.
Yeah. So my expectation of Korea is the information that I absorbed, the
Mm.
knowledge, experience that I absorbed from the drama. It's real modern because I'm going to Seoul.
Right.
Um, and it's full of super good looking, flawless people, tall, airbrush skin, and excellent body. That was my expectation of Korea.
Yes. Ah, well, I'm sure as the talk goes on, we'll hear whether those expectations were fulfilled. But please tell us, how long did you stay there? When were you there, Joyce? And what did you do in that time in outline?
Yeah, sure. So I went in September last year.
September 2023. Mm.
Yeah, that's right. So it's what season is that? Probably autumn in
Uh-huh.
the northern hemisphere.
Right.
Um, and I spent 5 days in Seoul.
Yes.
Um, and it's a shame that I went to Korea and only visited one city because I had limited time. Um, and so for the 5 days that I was there, so I stayed in Insadong.
In Sadong. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's through friend's daughter's recommendation who's lived in Korea for a while, and she
Hmm.
knew that I was on budget.
Right.
So I was looking for somewhere that's close to metro station, close to all the food places. Ended up renting a three bedroom apartment in Insadong.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so when we were there, and I actually made some notes where I went, had to refresh my memory. Um,
Yes.
so we went to Changgyeong-gong, Changgyeong-gong,
Sounds
which is
good.
it's close to it's in the Insadong area. It's about 15 to 20 minutes walk come from the apartment we stayed in.
Uh-huh.
That's like a palace.
Right.
Um,
Right.
it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Uh-huh.
Um, I think it was constructed in 1412.
Mm.
Long
Yes.
history.
Yes.
And there are quite a few palaces in Seoul.
Right.
But for unfortunately for me, before Korea, I visited Japan. So by the time I get to Korea, I was templed out.
Pimpled out. That's a good phrase. Yes. I can
So
imagine that. Yes.
yeah, so I ended up just visiting one palace.
Right.
But besides that, I went to like Bakchong, Hanok village.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Mm.
I visited local markets,
Uh-huh.
and um, for the most obvious reason, all the cosmetic stores
Oh, yes.
and shopping malls in Korea, and just like sort of randomly wandered on the streets of Seoul.
Oh, that's oh, it sounds like you packed a lot into that 5 days that you had in Seoul. Um, Looking back, can I ask what enduring memories you have of the country and of the people?
Uh, what enduring memories?
Hmm.
There are plenty. If I had to pick out one or two, I think
Hmm.
one thing that still amazes me today is the number of coffee shops in Seoul. So I think within like 200-300 meters, you will see one coffee shop. And I remember somewhere in Seoul, like in the central city, you know, these 3-story Starbucks that we don't see often in New Zealand.
Right.
Yeah, I remember when I was in Seoul, in the central business district, there are 2 3-story Starbucks, probably just 200 meters away from each other, and both are packed.
Goodness. Wow.
So yeah, seem to be a really big, like a coffee drinking culture in Seoul, and also people. It's not just a place to drink coffee; it's also a place for friends to meet and hang out.
Yes. Just by the way, Joyce, did you try Korean food?
I did. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm a big fan.
So you might have been used to it already. I'm not sure, but you did try kimchi and bulgogi and those other dishes.
Yeah.
And maybe it's quite a good way to visit a country for the first time for 5 days. If you went back, you would go from Seoul to other places, I'm sure.
But, definitely.
I've when I look through travel brochures in New Zealand, I pick them up, free brochures. Korea doesn't feature in the same way that Europe or the American continent or even Japan does. And so I think New Zealanders are still discovering Korea.
Yes.
Really. Do you have any advice to anyone going to Korea who may be thinking about it from New Zealand?
Korean food is amazing.
Yes.
And kimchi being fermented cabbage, fermented vegetable, it's really good for your stomach. But obviously for most Kiwi, it is quite a deviation from our traditional food. So one suggestion would be there are actually plenty of good Korean restaurants in New Zealand. Particularly Auckland, Hamilton, the bigger cities. So my suggestion to New Zealand travelers is to maybe build your tolerance and try a little bit of Korean food here so that you don't get the big shock of your life when you get there. And the second thing is, I think just keep an open mind.
Yeah, that sounds good. Joyce, thank you very much. We'll stop here, and I hope lots of people watch this and enjoy it and feel encouraged to take up their own journey to the land of morning calm, Korea.
I hope so too. And thank you for having me here today, Richard.
Sure. Good night.
Okay, good night.